Hi, I'm David, and this is going to be my review of the insect collections from LEGO Ideas. This is set 21342 with 1,111 pieces. Look at the box real quick before we get to the sets. Has some nice showing pieces of how they're going to look. You start off with 3 bags, starting with the butterfly bag, then the stag beetle, and then the praying mantis. Let's start with the butterfly. The butterfly, I think, is very pretty. Oh shit. As a son of a gun. This is one of my complaints I have with this set, is it's very fragile. Let me just pop that back on there. Really fragile. This flower has fallen off a couple times. Just gotta take the little bee off, place it back in there. Take off the flower so we can just get the studs. Bang. Come on, man. Take off the flower again. But by far, this set is pretty fragile. I would definitely say you can't really... You can probably move it if you just grab the base, but it can be a little difficult. There are some spots, like right here where you can grab, where there's not really much to lose. You can kind of give it a good shake. Okay, let me get a little more room. And nothing's really going to fall off. Like that. Let's put this back on. Pop the E back in there. Overall pretty... This was overall a pretty easy build. The butterfly was. One of my biggest complaints with most of the set is it can really only be viewed from one side. This one especially. So if we flip it around, the butterfly wings are not as colorful. You have these little blue dots, but it doesn't really match this side. So it can really only be viewed from really one angle. A bonus of this set is all of the insects can be easily taken off. And I think that is pretty cool. You could probably make a big diorama of all these insects together. I think the butterflies, at least the side that will be mostly shown, is very good. And the butterfly is much sturdier than the stuff on this kind of base. Let me just pop it back in there. There we go. Some of them are a little difficult to get back on. The butterfly is probably the most difficult to get back on, just with how the connection is. Alright, well, let's get to number 2, which is the stag beetle. This one, I believe, doesn't have as much of a bad issue of kind of looking a little rough in certain angles. This angle is okay, but from here, I think it looks pretty good. You get to see his little eyes. this whole little part can move. So you can rearrange his horn and stuff. Have him kind of like that. Oh, I put this piece on upside down, I just realized. This part had fallen off when I had taken him off his stand. I think this part looks really good when it's still. You also get the wings. Sadly, they cannot fit underneath his little shell here. The connection's pretty easy. Shoot. Here's what this looks like. This is what it looks like with it on. This one by far, the bug-wise, is probably the least sturdy out of all the bugs. As well as this base part, the log is very sturdy, which I think is a bonus and a bit of a minus, because taking him off, there's no really, well, taking him off, there's no real good place to hold him unless you are grabbing him by the butt here. Definitely this is a display piece. Can't do much with it. Can stand pretty well. Let's take the wings off real quick. Dude. This is one of the big issues I have with the connections, I'd say, is how easy they come off. Taking off the wings, this scene here, taking off this whole part. But it's not that hard to get it back on. Pretty easy to put it back on. I definitely think they could have made it a little more sturdy, but I think it would make it a little too bulky. One of the interesting things with this set is, for this part of the set, is this log. You can take off the log from the base plate, and underneath you'll find these two little grubs out of the croissant mold, I think this is. One of the rough parts is taking that off will pop this guy off a lot. So it's to stay more of a hidden secret. It'll just pop back down like this. Wait. Give me a second. Yeah, I heard it just pop back off. I don't know if you could hear that there. Let's pop this bad boy back on there. This one is by far the hardest to put back on, I think, because of the mushrooms. There we go. Also, this one's probably the least sturdy of the connections. Next and last, we have the praying mantis. Here he is. I think this is the best structure, as well best build guy. I can lift him up right from here. The connection is pretty good, which makes sense since he has a lot of connections through here, which keeps it pretty sturdy. This one was also, I found, the most fun to build, but this might have been just me building them all at once. don't know if that affected my enjoyment at all out of it. And this model is by far the most posable. And you can kind of have them in different little positions, much easier than the others. His head, his arms are very posable, so you can change up how he looks pretty easily. Here we go. And you have the ability to move how inched forward he is, which I don't think most people would do. I think most people would just have him like this. And let's look at his log. Here is the connections that are connecting to it. It is just 4 little studs, and it keeps him on there pretty well. I had some issues with these leaves. If you can see, they kind of look black in the video. That is, and I don't think they should have used this dark of a color. But I don't know, because it's a very dark green, and it kind of almost comes off brown. But this one by far is the sturdiest. You can push onto it. Well, okay, maybe I can't push too hard, but I can push a lot harder on this one than the others. Like right here, where the connection is. I could do it pretty well on this one, but I would risk breaking the wing, the shell off here. And just putting him back on, you will just have to rearrange his legs. What the hell? And then you just get to rearrange him. And now he's kind of in a little surprise position. Another neat feature with like the books is on the back it has the species name and the just kind of like a the pinup version, like you would see in a I don't know what they're called, like a bug box. I thought that is very cool. One of my favorite little details about the set is it feels like you are an entomologist. Here, let's get them all in the good final shot here. Ah, oh no. Well, that's a bit worrying. He definitely hasn't had this issue before. I guess it might have been just how I was pulling on it. But overall, I think this was a very fun build. For the price, it was about, I think it was $80 US. For the amount you get to build and the amount of time you'd spend on it, and how nice they look as just kind of like display pieces. I think this is well worth the money. Maybe I'm a little wrong. I'm I'm a little new to the Lego hobby, but I did enjoy building the set. I liked a lot of it. There were some annoying parts, and how sturdy it is. Overall, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. And yeah, as a heads up, next Wednesday I will also be building another set. I believe if I get it in. So if you'd like to see live Lego building, check out my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/divchat. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful night.